Hello, everyone. My name is Trent, and today I have with me Dauntless, a free to play action RPG game developed by Phoenix Labs. This game was inspired by the Monster Hunter franchise, as you can see, and it's in early access right now, so a lot of things are not finished with this game. They just recently had their first wipe, and I lost all my character data. And there's another wipe coming at the end of May, so my progress on this character is going to be gone as well. But so I'm going to take a few minutes to show everyone this game. I think it's really worth it, especially if you're a fan of the Monster Hunter series, which this game is inspired by. But first thing I have to say is that this game, you're not hunting, you are a slayer. And they make that apparently very clear um, in the game. So, for instance, in Monster Hunter, you have to track down the monster and find it and then slay it and collect its parts. In Dauntless, the maps are very small, so you could go in any direction and you'll bump into the monster. But here they're called behemoths, so you'll run into a behemoth. So you and your party, you go into the map, you find a behemoth, you kill it, you make new armor. That's it. It's pretty much boss battle after boss battle. So as you can see here, this is my character. Um, and I killed a couple monsters and pretty much made stuff out of their gear. So after you hunt down the monsters, I can't really talk about everything because it may change. But this is what they have so far. So the weapons are swords, hammers, chain blades, axes, and war pikes, which I haven't unlocked yet. This is a new feature they have, that you have to level up your weapon skills to then unlock new weapons. Personally, I really like this. All the weapons feel different and unique. Swords are pretty much used because they're blades. You can use them for cutting a lot of weapons and sorry, not weapons. Behemoth parts. So like a lot of behemoths have tails. You can chop off their tails. You can chop off horns and different pieces. Swords are great for that. Hammer is good for stunning. You can swing the hammer and stun creatures, as well as the hammers in this game are also shotguns, or they fire like a blast out the front. So you see most of the shotguns have a little piece at the top of their head that allows them to shoot out a projectile at behemoths. So it's pretty cool. Chain blades are pretty much like scythes with chains on them. They're very quick, not a lot of damage, but they're very quick and allow you to be very mobile. You could move around and you have a different dash when you're using chain blades. And it's a little bit of a range. It's like probably the main range weapon in the game because the blades can extend a little further. So you can hit the behemoth from like mid range, not like very far, but you could hit the mid range and give yourself some distance, and you could do acrobatics with it as well, like flip in off the monster or dash in and hit them. The axe is used is the axe is like a upgraded version of the sword. It's very slow and does a lot of cutting damage, so you can cut off parts with it, as well as you can also stun with it as well, if you're good at timing. But it's probably the hardest hitting weapon in the game. Does a lot of damage. And the war pikes, which I can't show right now, is pretty much a fast piercing weapon and does a lot of part damage, as well as it also has a cannon on the other end of the pike, so you can also shoot a blast from range as well. So pretty much with this game, you're gonna hunt down monsters, and then you can see here the different parts required and the stats of the weapon. You're gonna hunt down the monsters, slay them, and then make new parts. And each new part that you make is stronger than the previous one, and you can upgrade them as well. So upgrading is actually very important in this game. So that was the weapons. Here's the armor. So armors come in sets. So the Gnasher is a behemoth in the game. So you hunt down Gnashers, you collect its parts, and you could craft the Gnasher set. You don't have to equip the full set because there is no set bonus until like later on. I believe this also may be a feature that may be removed. but for the most part, you can mix and match different pieces from different behemoths. It's up to you. And like each piece right now has its own effect. This is something recently that they've added in this patch. It could change later on. I don't know. But I'm just talking about the basic hunt behemoths, gather parts, and craft different armors and weapons outfit. That's obviously going to be the same. The stats and effects on them will probably change. The last thing you can craft is lanterns. So lanterns in this game are pretty much, as the name says, lanterns, but they have different effects when you activate them. In this patch, they've changed the effects on pretty much all of them. So you hunt down the monsters and you use their parts to also make lanterns, and it will have different effects depending on the monster that you hunt as well. So to not waste time, I'm just gonna try to log in, get a hunt really quick, and shows off some combat, because that's what this game's about. And there are a lot of people online today. Okay. So the game has like different zones, and each zone pretty much is like a tier of monsters. So the monsters in the Monsters Verge are a little bit easier. Like, so these are the monsters here. These guys are slightly easy. When you make the gear out of these guys, it's gonna be low tier. Then you move on to the younger keys, and then the monsters you hunt here are slightly stronger. Some of them might be from a previous tier, but a little bit stronger, and that's fine. Others may be different variations. Like the Shreve is pretty much a strike. It's the same thing except it's an ice version and slightly stronger. And then after that, there's probably about, I think, 4 levels of tiers. So this is the 3rd one I'm in right now. I haven't really unlocked anything yet, except for the Niisaga. Probably butchered that name, but that's what it is. So I'm just going to go into Yonkers and do a patrol. And so patrols is pretty much randomly, if they'll select any behemoth and you'll just fight it. Expeditions is like looking for resources, and pursuit is if you were trying to hunt a specific behemoth, you could then click on it and then hunt that specific behemoth. But I'm going to probably do a pursuit. Actually, it'd be a lot easier if I could hunt like a Skarn, because I'm accustomed hunting those pretty easy. So here we have the airship. In the airship is the pretty much the lobby before you can go into a hunt. It'll give you the name of your behemoth that you're hunting, the location, and you see your character, and other members when they log in, they'll also appear here. And at any point you can also check your gear. You can swap out your gear for different pieces. Your gear also have to add that you can also dye your gear and change the color as well. Okay, so we just got 2 new people, and you can click on them as well and view the gear that they have. And if you need to chat, you can also chat as well. So generally, hunts are just about 4 players, and once like everyone's good, you just press R, or you just press the ready button, and you just go in for the hunt. There's also different emotes and the banners, which I'll explain when we get into the island. Because the story in this game takes place in the fantasy world where there's a bunch of floating islands, and on them are like different monster behemoths, and Ramsgate is the central town here, where all the humans live, and the slayers pretty much go out, hunt the behemoths, so the behemoths don't get closer to the town and devastate and kill all the people there. I mean, even if they did, there's like probably like 100 slayers in the town, so the behemoths would get wrecked. pretty quickly. But they send out slayers to these floating islands to hunt down the behemoths so they don't get close. The further away from Ramsgate you go, the stronger the behemoths are. And if you don't have to worry about falling off the map, because if you fall off, you just get teleported back on top. But yes, you can fall off the edge. That is the thing. So while you're running, you can press the tab key and it brings up the menu so you can see your current weapon and how to use it and everything. There's also items in the zone, like little plants that you want to pick up. So right now, we're trying to find the Scarn. It's going to be somewhere here. I don't know where it is. We just have to look for it. And when we find it, how we signal everybody else is you can press the 5 key and shoot up a flare. And the flare will signal up top in the navigation about where the behemoth is or where everyone is saying it is. And I found it. So I'm going to launch a flare. And each of the flares have different signals, and you can customize them as well and buy new ones. So I'm gonna run out with my weapon. You see, this guy, the Scarn, has a lot of armor, so yeah, generally hunts don't take you that long. Depends on the group. If you have a really good group, probably take you about 5 minutes or 10. You have about 30 minutes in total to defeat the behemoth, and I've never had a group that has gone over to 30 minutes. And right there, the behemoth just left. So when you do enough damage to them, they will sometimes flee and travel to another area, and we'll just have to go find them. These little vents here in the ground actually provide a heal for anyone and everyone, but there's a certain amount in it. I think it's about 8 or so. So if you use up all the heals there, your team won't have any. So it's important to be mindful not to use up all the heals, and allow your group members, if they really need it, to get it. You can also carry with you potions and other items. So the thing about the axe, it's a great weapon, very slow, but does tremendous amount of damage. This weapon's all about position. You want to make sure the behemoth is in a good position and charge up your attacks. The little meter of the axe underneath my health bar is the power up for the axe. So every time I do axe combos, I can build up the meter, and then I can use Q to release all the built up energy and stored in the axe for a devastating attack. Ooh. Yeah, you can really get knocked around in this game. Overall, I was blown away by my first match in this game, and I had loads of fun. I actually encourage like everyone to just try this game out. Right now, it's in early access, so you have to pay like about $40, I believe, to get in. But it's going to be free to play. Yep, and that was that. So this whole took about 8 minutes, and you get a rank, and it also shows you like the player of the game. So overall, I encourage everyone to try this game out. It's loads of fun. Thanks for watching.